It is Canada's next major peacekeeping mission in Mali, in northwestern Africa. We're going to show you where it is. Boots have been on the ground in that part of the world for just over a month now as Canada carries out a UN-led peacekeeping mission. Critics have warned the region is dangerous. Just today, 4 Malian soldiers were killed in the central part of the country. You can see Camp Castor. That is where Canada's mission is headquartered. And here's a look at how we're helping out, providing 8 helicopters, 250 members of the military. The focus for the Canadians will be on medical evacuation missions. At least that's where it will start. But for more, let's go live to Mali. We've got Colonel McKenna joining us live from the ground there. He is the commander of Operation Presence in that country. It's good to have you on the program, Commander, and thank you for taking time for CTV today. How is the mission going so far?
Good evening, Todd. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me tonight. It's going very, very well. We just declared what we call our initial operational capability for Presence today on August 1st. So we are actually right now holding a standby to do medevac if we are called upon to do so.
This is a very tricky part of the world. It is dangerous, as you know. You're well aware of the political situation, different insurgent groups that are operating in that part of Africa. What is the best case scenario for the Canadian contingent?
Well, I could say the best case scenario for us is actually not getting called out, which means no one has gotten hurt. But quite honestly, as you described, it's a very complex place and there is violence. So as a result of that, we have to be ready to go at all times. And I have crews right now, actually at current time on an exercise who've been launched by the UN to go and sort of confirm our capability in theater. So things are going very well.
What sort of dangers are you watchful or mindful of amid this mission?
Well, there's certainly, as you say, there's armed groups who obviously want to do harm to the local nationals and to the Malian army and obviously to the UN. I'm much more concerned with the environment here. A lot of dust, a lot of sand, and very quickly moving sandstorms that come up on very short notice. So our focus, quite honestly, is just to do our job safely and go and get folks who've been hurt and bring them back to hospitals very, very safely.
Is it possible that your mission may go beyond some of those medical missions that you've been talking about and the use of those choppers for that? I mean, in other words, although this is not a combat mission, you know, the situation is no doubt fluid, as it often can be in certain parts of the world.
I think that's a very accurate. We actually have a mandate to provide what we call utility aviation to the all around Gao and the Gao area to enable the UN operations in this area.
We also want to talk, if I can, about those choppers, and we do have a board that we want to bring up again just to sort of show what Canada is doing in terms of those helicopters, 8 of them being deployed to the region, the 3 Chinook and the 5 Griffin, which are pretty state-of-the-art pieces of equipment. What can we expect from them?
Well, the Chinook has been specifically configured for the mission. It's got a full armor package and a defensive suite to make sure that everyone inside is well protected. We've got 4 of our clinicians in the back of it, a doctor, a nurse, and 2 aeromedical technicians, in addition to a force protection package of infantry soldiers to make sure that we're safe. The Griffins are armed with weapons to make sure that they protect that Chinook when it's on the ground. They protect our medical teams when they go out to get somebody. And the whole package flies together to ensure what we call mutual support in a difficult environment.
There's something else, too, about the political situation in the country. We were talking about those 4 soldiers who were killed amid some political unrest as well. Is that at all on your radar, Commander? I mean, you are there operating in that country. We know there have been separatist rumblings in Mali in years past as well. How is that figuring into everything that you and your team are trying to do?
It figures right in the dead center of it all. I'll tell you, the violence against any of the forces armées maliennes is very concerning. Certainly, my focus is on making sure my troops can do their job safely and get home safely to their families at the end of this mission. But the aggregate of all the activity in this theater, obviously, we watch it very carefully to make sure that we understand what our mission is going to be and that we can meet it on behalf of Canada.
What is the timeline as well in terms of the length of time that Canadian boots will be on the ground, so to speak, Commander?
So I'm told it's a 1-year mission. So we'll be here from today until 1 year from today, the end of July in 2019.
And What about the reaction from the Malians themselves? Have you had any opportunity to interact with people from the country and get some of their sort of feedback of Canada deploying this group of 250 soldiers to their country?
So I've spoken to some Malian soldiers as a result of the fact that we are actually on a very similar camp to them. They have a large camp here on the airfield in Gao, and we interact with them regularly. And certainly, I've flown over this area of operations now a couple times, and I've had a chance to see the population out and about, and it's certainly amazing to see the people of Mali and out in the rural settings. They're certainly very happy and very in the sense that they wave at our helicopters, and they're happy to see the UN flag as we fly by. I can say that the Forces Armées Maliennes are very well trained soldiers, and we've enjoyed interacting with them to date.
We're going to show our viewers just a map one last time of where you are coming to us right now live, Camp Castor, which is in the northern part of the country, Bamako, the capital there. No doubt you have had experiences with other missions, and I'm just curious what strikes you the most about this mission to Mali, Commander. What sets this country, this theater apart?
Well, I'd say as a Canadian, what strikes me is our ability to communicate with the folks who live here. Most of my contingent can speak French. I myself grew up in Montreal and went to school in French, and that is serving me very, very well as I spend most of my days speaking French to my counterparts here. And I think as a Canadian, we certainly have a great effect in the fact that we can approach not only the partners within the UN, English and French, but also the local population in French. If we have to interact with them, even on a point of injury, if we were picking them up from a medevac call.
Colonel Chris McKenna joining us live from Mali. He is the commander of Operation Presence, which is the Canadian contingent. It's been deployed as part of our country's peacekeeping mission to that part of the world. Colonel, great to have you with us here on CTV News amid your mission. I know it's busy and late. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us back home.
Thank you, Todd. Much appreciated.
All right, there they go. We wish them the best of luck as well in that mission.